Hello, everyone.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Breaking Bad Season 4, Episodes 10 through 12 review. I'm Owen Finch, and I'm here with...
Alan Talent, my full name.
Yep.
And this is the penultimate finale of Breaking Bad Season 4.
Yeah, we only got one more episode to do. We said we would get to it by the end of the month. The end of the month.
We are at the very end of the month, but we stuck to it.
Yeah. We didn't even do it on purpose either. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
We didn't really...
Like, I'm not working a whole lot this week. You got a couple days off of school. All worked out.
So, obviously, we're going to structure these reviews the same way we did the last video. So, go watch the last video and then come back here so you kind of know how these are structured.
Right. We'll go over the one episode, give our thoughts, recap what happens, give our thoughts on it, then give it a letter grade, and then we'll do that for all three episodes.
Yep. And I feel good because these episodes obviously, are setting up more stuff and are more significant. You're going to be talking a little bit more in this review, I think.
I think so, but yeah, I think we'll both give like a good even amount of what we'll
talk. Maybe not so much in the Salute one, because that one probably you don't remember as well, but the other two you'll probably be talking a good amount. So
actually, I really like Salute. Salute was a very underrated episode, I feel.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. We'll just stop right in. So these episodes came out in the span of September 18th, 2011, up until October 2nd, 2011. Because obviously,
I was 10 years old when this came out.
Yeah. How old were you?
What?
How old were you?
I was 10.
Oh, 10? So I was like 15.
I was like 15, 14.
15, I think 14 because
yeah.
Actually, no, 15. I think I was 15 because I would have been in 10th grade because you don't go you start obviously a new grade like in the fall, which I think is which I always thought was kind of stupid, but that's not a different topic.
All right, so Breaking Bad, one of my favorite shows.
So let's talk about Salud first, which is Spanish for health, which kind of ties into the episode.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's cool.
I actually looked it up because I needed to know how to pronounce the episode, so I tried to find
Spanish 2 has not been helping me so far.
Huh?
Spanish 2 class, not been helpful so far.
Yeah, I guess not. So you could say you learned the word salute from Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad. Huh?
I said, yeah, it's more than I've learned already.
Yeah, so Breaking Bad, you might as well just watch Breaking Bad and watch the end of this episode because you'll probably learn more Spanish at the end of this episode than because the end of the episode's in Spanish. That's kind of the joke.
Right.
So,
Mexico.
So yeah, let's talk about it. We'll save that storyline for the end because that's kind of like the biggest storyline of the episode.
Right.
But
we should probably talk about the Walter stuff first, right? Because that's like the least Well, would you rather start with the Walter stuff or the Ted and Skyler?
Because we're reviewing that episode's going to have a culmination when we review it. We'll do the because that meant more, later on in the series than I thought it would. We'll do the Walter stuff first.
All right.
You want to do that first? You want to kind of do that because you probably have more memory about that in this episode than, not that I would, but than the Skyler stuff probably.
Right. Okay. So the Walter stuff, not super interesting, but it good for his character and it gives a good insight on why he does the thing he does.
I was still pretty interested in it though. Especially,
yeah, I was, but for someone who's super into action-y stuff, then probably not.
Yeah.
So Junior comes over to Walter's house, and Walter's drunk after his fight with Jesse, and Junior's just taking care of him, and Walter breaks down in front of him, and he cries.
Yeah. Well, he didn't show up. Junior was there too because he didn't show up for because it was his birthday too.
Right. So that kind of just shows Walter's not in a good place.
Yeah.
And before Junior puts him to bed, he calls him Jesse, kind of showing that a lot of people have argued if Walter really even cared about Jesse at all, but I think this episode shows that he did care about Jesse and still does. Even after their fight, he still sees him as his son.
Because he even talked about how he was probably drunk though, but how he thought he messed up, he was when he was crying and stuff like that, and felt that he just made a gravest mistake and stuff. So
yeah, he was in the wrong.
Yeah, which I don't think so.
It's
We
big
talked.
for Walt. He usually can't accept things in the wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, and then there was obviously more after that.
Right, where Walt talks about his dad, and this was something I definitely feel like motivates Walt. Like, I feel like his life, where he felt like he wasn't accomplishing a lot, was the main reason why he did all this stuff. But I think like his dad and that one memory he had of him was a big reason why he
Yeah.
does if he does.
Yeah,
He wants to be,
definitely.
like, remembered and like feel important.
Yeah, and obviously, I thought it was very good characterization for Walt because obviously he tells like how his dad was sick and stuff, and the only memory he has of him is when he was probably on his deathbed, pretty much.
Yeah, and I think a part of Walt is like dying a little inside because like his wife will always think of him as like a crazy drug kingpin.
Yeah.
Like, and like his son will probably, he thinks in his mind his son will just think of him as like a drunk who missed his birthday.
Yeah, and he doesn't want him to remember him like that.
Yeah, so it's definitely breaking Walt inside a little bit.
Yeah, and I thought it was definitely a good moment for Walt.
Very human.
Yeah, because obviously you don't really get to see this side of Walt a lot.
He's very vulnerable. Usually he's like putting up he's acting like a crazy man. So
yeah. So I thought this was I thought this was a good episode for Walt because he really wasn't going to be the focus anyways in this episode, so this was kind of like a good way to kind of have him in the episode.
Right, all the action's happening in Mexico with Jesse.
Yeah. So I thought this was a good, and obviously too you got to see this was the most screen time Walter Jr.'s had in the whole show, I think, since he's been in it. So. And then obviously afterwards, I can't think of the guy's name, but the guy that's supposed to look like Gus, one of his henchmen comes up, and Walter didn't show up to work, obviously, because of the fight. So,
I can't remember his name. I think it was like Tyrone.
I think it's Tyrese actually, but
yeah, so it's something with a T.
Yeah, we'll just call him T because, yeah. So yeah, we'll call and then obviously that leads to the next episode, so that's all that was supposed to do. So, but yeah, obviously the stuff with Walt I liked because it was for the reasons we just said, and then obviously we have
like Skylar and Ted.
Yeah,
we love that.
I mean, I guess I could say, obviously we won't talk about it yet, but maybe knowing what I know now, I can understand why they kind of hammered the storyline.
I think
episode.
The result was good, but leading up to it was
rough. The Destiny.
It's like is the payoff worth it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a really good payoff, but like,
yeah,
I just think the storyline was very boring and
yeah.
I'll just say it boils down to Skylar was being an idiot.
Pretty much what happens is Skylar is doing everything that she can to make sure that Ted pays off his loans, obviously.
And
because
Ted's just an idiot and doesn't do that.
Yeah. She tries to pretend that Ted had a relative that lived in Alabama or something. Pretty much anywhere you wouldn't even thought of. And obviously she uses Saul for this. And coincidentally has enough money to pay off the loan. Which obviously this kind of made Ted look really stupid because what a coincidence.
She even calls him out on it later. You really believe that,
But I just thought, it just really wasn't very believable that someone would buy this to me.
She calls him out on it later, so that makes it kind of funny. But
then we find out that Saul called, and even Saul knew this was a bad idea. Maybe Saul hated the storyline too, because this is a bad idea. He didn't want to be involved with this.
Man, I just give me my spin-off, right? I don't want to deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
Give me my spin-off.
But let me notice too. I mean, we talk about it later, but right when Walt comes into his office, he's just ready to move on to that storyline. It's now we get to talk about this, even though that was close. But maybe that's why Saul was on the run. He didn't want to deal with that anymore.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, maybe when he sent his best guys, maybe his best guys was sent off to finally blow off this storyline. We're gonna get rid of this storyline, get rid of Ted, and we're here with this again. So
honestly, I would be thinking the same thing.
I mean, But
so Walter stuff was really great.
yeah,
Ted stuff, never good.
yeah.
That's like the meat of the action, I feel.
Well, actually, I didn't finish talking about the Ted.
Oh
stuff.
yeah, go on.
Because we gotta. So what happens is we find out that he just didn't pay off his loans. He bought like a car and stuff, and he's gonna get the business going again, which obviously isn't the best idea. And then she calls him out on it because Scarlett came and visited his office, and that's pretty much what happens. I mean, there's just
pretty much.
Yeah.
Wasn't all that exciting, I feel, but yeah.
And it lasted. I feel like we lost like a great Walt moment. That had to be sacrificed too.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Walt got enough moments in this episode to make up for it, but like, again, it's just like a lot more could be done with this thing.
Yeah.
And like, I love Breaking Bad. Like, it is one of my favorite shows. So like, talking about bad stuff in it doesn't, it hurts. But like,
yeah.
Hey,
there's no such thing as the perfect show out there. So
yeah,
it would have been perfect if Skylar wasn't in it.
And like Skylar, the person who voices Skylar, the person who acts as Skylar, she's a good actress. She's just not playing a good character.
Yeah. Then we have the stuff with that obviously is the big meat of the episode.
Yeah,
what do you want to talk about this one?
I feel.
Do you want to talk about this? You want me to talk about this?
You can talk about it.
All right, I'll let you talk about the end. Because you obviously remember that the most. So the opening of the episode is them actually going to Mexico, on like a helicopter and stuff. It's Jesse, Mike, and Gus. Which I didn't think Gus was actually going to go. I thought he was going to stay back with, but I guess he just actually went. So they go to the place where they make the meth with the cartel. And I actually like this because, obviously Jesse couldn't speak Spanish. And the guy actually could speak Spanish, but he wasn't speaking, not Spanish, English, but he was speaking Spanish at first. And pretty much what Jesse says is he doesn't have one of the supplies to make the meth the way he does it. Because I think Jesse was stalling a little bit because he didn't really know if he was going to do well making it.
And also it's kind of like Jesse doesn't know like how this stuff works. He just follows like the recipe.
Yeah. And, obviously this was a very significant like moment in Jesse's character because we got to see kind of, well, I'll just say what happened. Pretty much what happens is he makes the recipe exactly correct. Because we saw like this, it's supposed to like weigh a certain amount or something.
It's to have a certain purity.
Yeah. And Jesse's obviously didn't expect that it was gonna. I think he just barely got the right purine. And what happens is
it wasn't quite as good as Walt, but like for his first solo cook, it was like really high up there.
And obviously, this episode's very significant because it shows that Jesse doesn't need Walt as much as Gus thought that he did. So
like he can function on his own.
Yep. And it was a good moment for Jesse, but also bad for Walt because
Gus really doesn't have any reason to keep him around besides Jesse not wanting him to be killed.
Yeah. Which obviously we find that out later, but and then I'll just kind of break the scene down. We knew something was going to happen because where's the next scene held when we see these guys? Right at the place where Gus's partner from the past died. So we instantly knew something was going to happen.
Yeah. And like they were talking about how Jesse was going to stay behind in Mexico, and we all know Gus wasn't going to let that happen.
Yeah, we knew something was going to happen.
And Mike shows that he cares about Jesse, so he definitely wasn't going to stand for that either.
Yep. And what happens is Gus bought like this drink that he was probably drinking in the episode where they supposedly had met, and obviously he poisoned the drink because and obviously he makes, but I actually have to.
He has to drink his own drink to prove like it's not poison.
Yeah.
I think the guy was like, it's probably poison, but when he drank it, he was like, oh, okay, I guess it's not.
Yeah. I think his name is Don Alado, I think. I have to make sure that's right. The guy, we're just gonna call him Don. The guy that runs the cartel.
Right.
Um,
And when it was such a cool scene when they all just start like falling over.
yeah, and Gus goes in there and throws it up.
Faucet and then starts puking out the.
But he doesn't obviously completely get all of it out,
still,
but
still messes with his body. He won't die from it.
Yeah.
Shouldn't die from it.
And then it leads to a shootout where Jesse actually saves Gus and Mike, kind of showing loyalty to Gus.
Mike shot and he's injured.
Yeah. So Jesse's the one that has to kind of save Gus and Mike, and that's how the episode ends.
Right. I gotta imagine for Gus, he's been waiting years to take these guys out. These guys killed his partner, and to see the dawn fall in the pool.
Yeah.
Same way Max did. It must have been like the best feeling ever.
Yeah, and it was like a good moment for Gus because and it was obviously like one of Gus's best scenes, obviously. So
right, like he really planned this stuff out.
Yeah. And I know like this doesn't happen until the next episode, but later on, like in the next episode, he goes back to Hector and pretty much just makes Hector suffer, saying that he killed Don, and it was Jesse that killed like one of his henchmen that was his grandson. Yeah. So like Gus really.
I mean, really, Hector's grandsons, like Jesus, like Hank killed Tuco, and then Hank killed the two other. His two other grandsons, and then Jesse kills, the last one. So, like, Jesus, this guy's 4 grandsons, they all die in the span of, like a year?
I know. It's all, if you think about it, I mean, yeah, you could say it's Gus's fault, but it's kind of his fault. It's kind of Hector's fault in the beginning because...
Yeah, like, bring him into that life in the first place.
Yeah. And I just kind of like it, though, because it makes... The Gus-Hector scenes make Gus just look more like a villain by making Hector suffer. You could say like it's justice, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of can't help but feel bad for Hector just because you have how helpless that he is, and stuff like that. But that obviously we're not going to include that in the grade with this episode because that was the next episode. But I just wanted to make sure I touched on that just because we're not going to remember when we review the next episode because of how much happens. So, but yeah, I actually like this episode. I would definitely agree with you. I think it's probably an underrated episode because obviously the next 3 episodes are going to be so significant that this one probably gets kind of lost.
So shadowed.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it a B plus.
I give it an A.
A 10?
I give it an A.
Oh, an A. Yeah, I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B plus. I thought it was a great episode. Because it would be up higher if I didn't have to deal with that,
Skylar and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not good, but like the other highs of the episode make up for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, knowing that it's almost over is, like a good.
Yeah. Well, I think too. I didn't know that when I saw this episode too, so I'm
see, it's like the season's almost over. You kind of figure like it's gonna get wrapped up.
Yeah, obviously, but I didn't know how it was gonna get wrapped up, so.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Then we have obviously episode 11, which is called Crawl Space, which is obviously a significant title because
one of the fan favorites, I think. Like this is like one of the most appreciated episodes.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I will mention that I think it was Walt, not obviously him, but like the actor that plays Walt. I don't know his name off the top of my head. Was
Brian something.
Yeah, he was nominated. I don't know if Yeah, he was nominated for an award at the Primetime Emmy Awards for outstanding.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I was reading about it last night. Leading actor in a drama series. I don't think he won it though, because I think Jesse won it in the next episode. Bryan Cranston is his name, by the way.
Oh, right, Bryan Cranston. He voiced the dad. I mean, he played the dad on Malcolm in the Middle.
I know. I feel like we should talk about that. It's not even like the same guy. Like it's
completely different. That guy's like goofy, like incompetent.
Yeah, just like I feel like no one thinks of him now as the dad, and like that's like so forgettable now because of his role as Walter White. If you think about it.
Actually, there's this picture online where it's like he's in his underwear and he's like, "Malcolm, we have to cook."
Yeah.
So,
And then he was actually in a movie. Why him? It's a comedy, and he still acts the same and stuff, but he acts a little goofy and stuff. So
right.
um, and he was in one of the Godzilla movies too. The
Oh,
one
really? I didn't know
I
that.
think not the most recent one that came out because I know there's one coming out soon, but the one before that.
Yeah, he's a
And then
pretty
he's
well
gonna
actor, so that's not.
and I think he's actually gonna be because you obviously you've heard the news that he's gonna be in Breaking Bad when it comes out because they're making a movie out of it, right?
Are they really? I didn't know that.
I think they are.
Oh,
Um,
awesome, sweet.
which I think will be good, but I feel like it. Obviously, they're gonna leave a lot of stuff out because, obviously it's a movie. Like, well, the stuff with Gus will get blown off quicker than, um, you know. But we're getting off topic. But,
Yeah, just a little tidbits in between episodes isn't too bad.
yeah. But let's talk about episode
11.
11. I guess we'll start off with the stuff with Walt and Hank because that kind of leads to everything else.
Right.
Actually, no, we'll start with the stuff with Jesse and Gus when they leave Mexico because that leads to everything else mainly. So
first, so they get to an offshore medical facility Gus has.
yeah,
Where, they treat him for his blood loss, and they at first they don't really care about Mike. They're like, hey, this guy doesn't sign my paychecks, whatever.
I feel like that's going to be a significant. Maybe it won't be, but I feel like that's kind of a significant scene in a way. So
I think it just kind of shows like how Gus has all these people wrapped around his finger. You know?
Yeah.
Like how like if they took out Gus, like a whole lot of crap would happen.
Yeah. Also, too, I think another significant is they know everything about like Gus had. It shows how much Gus had everything planned out. Like the doctor knew everything about Jesse, like everything about him, his blood type.
Yeah, and it also shows he really thought this stuff out. Like he had all this stuff planned before they even got to Mexico.
Yeah. And then it shows that scene where they're gonna leave, and Mike's staying behind because he's not ready to come back
he's
yet.
Not really. Yeah, he's too injured.
Yeah.
He got shot. Like Gus has a bit of poison in his system, but Gus has got like poison in his system, but like Mike was actually like shot and like bled out a little bit.
Yeah. So, Jesse, even though him and Walt had a falling out, doesn't want Gus to kill Walt. He wants him just to release Walt, fire Walt, and just pretend this never happened. But Gus says that he can't let that happen. And Jesse said that he's never going to get his consent to kill Walt, and that's obviously very significant because that ties into the next episode.
One thing preventing Gus from killing him because he needs Jesse for his his meth.
Yeah. And then Walt is back with Tyrus, and obviously he tells Tyrus that Hank is going to want to see that place that they cleared out, I think, like 2 episodes ago. Because I think it was the same episode where him and Jesse got into the fight where that happened. So obviously him and Hank are, scouting out the place, and they don't find anything because Walt made sure that didn't happen. So
yeah.
They do have a nice little side conversation about Walt's face, and I thought that was a nice scene where Walt is even saying I'm not going to make any more excuses about my past anymore. So it was kind of Walt becoming Heisenberg again, and kind of like a standoff between Walt and Hank because it's like the feuding with each other without Hank knowing about it really. So I was gonna say without each other knowing about it, but obviously Walt knows about it. So it's not like Death Note, because I was about to make that comparison, but it's not exactly like that. It's kind of like that, but not completely.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair comparison. Like Hank is Al and Light is Heisenberg.
And then the next day they go to back to the place, and pretty much Hank takes him on a detour. I believe that's the right wording for that. But pretty much he's going to take him to where Walt goes to work every day. And obviously, Walt didn't expect this. So Walt realizes he's gonna get caught, so he crashes his car on purpose, preventing Hank from seeing it. And this ends up injuring Hank, and obviously Walt got messed up like these last few episodes because
like, he got beat up. He got punched, he got. Oh my God, he's not fair. Well, he guy's like 50. He can't be doing this.
Yeah, and this helped Walt because this happened. Hank had to come clean to Marie and stuff about what they were really doing. So now he's kind of got Hank off his trail for a little bit. But this scene obviously is significant because it leads to the next few episodes. Well, the next 2 episodes, probably 3 because I haven't seen it yet. So. But yeah, I thought that was a nice scene. I thought obviously the cool scene when Walt crashes, because obviously your adrenaline was pumping, like wondering how Walt was going to get out of. Because obviously that's what you think about, like how is Walt going to get out of this one? Because, so I liked it a lot. But then, meanwhile, there was something else going on where Skyler was trying to get. Actually, I'll let you talk about this because it's Victory right here. This is Victory.
Victory for the storyline is closed. So Skyler gets Saul to get a couple guys to like hold Ted hostage basically while they cash the check so they can clear out the debt that Ted owes.
Yeah.
Ted, for some reason, decides to run.
Yeah.
And then he trips on a rug, hits his head, and he possibly died. So, congrats, Ted. What a way to go. What a life.
And obviously this is bad because because the police could find out about this now and stuff.
Oh, yeah, you could easily find it. I mean, they got like 3 thugs in the house, so they could easily just get rid of the body. But
yeah.
People ask questions like, Ted's suddenly gone. That's weird.
Yeah, but they don't do anything about it because we had a bigger storyline to deal with at the moment. So
yeah, like no one even people in the episode didn't really even care.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my God, Ted's hurt. Huh? Yeah, okay, that's nice. That's
like what? Like they were even talking about it. And once Walt walked in, like Saul was like, okay, this is a bigger deal. Like we got to talk about this right now.
Yeah, let's talk about the fun stuff. Let's talk about the cool storylines.
Not that crap.
Yeah.
I want to say, I want to say, like, I wish they could just pretend this happened, but they kind of can't because we have to kind of know what happened to Ted. But I kind of want to.
I mean, we though? Do we?
Yeah. I kind of wish we could just now they could just say he's dead and then just kind of move on, never kind of bring this up.
The whole reason this plot existed was so Walt couldn't get away with his family.
Yeah.
The whole reason. At the end of the episode, Walt's in the crawl space, and he's like, "Where's my money?"
Yeah.
And Scott was like, "I gave it all to my boyfriend."
Well, I don't even think
it is. I know. I'm just exaggerating.
Oh.
And Walt literally starts like going insane because
which I think we all were too. I think.
And like I get it, Skylar's never done this stuff before. Like she's a little out of her element, but like that's really dumb. Like you have your husband is like working with the cartel.
Yeah. Like
he needs that money so he can stay alive, Like
I guess, but I'll break that stuff down too, because what happens is, Walt realizes that someone's been cooking meth in the lab and realizes that it was Jesse. So he realizes that Gus now is going to kill him because he doesn't really need him anymore. He doesn't need him.
Jesse can easily do his job for him.
Yeah. And he asks Jesse for help, but Jesse doesn't help him because of the falling out. And
he still does. He's angry at him, but he still cares about him.
Yeah, but he won't help him.
Right. He's kind of like, you dug your own grave.
Yeah, and then he gets tased, and taken hostage to the desert. And Gus tells him that he's fired. He's gonna kill him and Hank, and if Walt interferes, he'll kill his entire immediate family, pretty much.
Right. It's like I can kill you and your brother-in-law, or I can kill you, your brother-in-law, and everyone else.
Yeah. Once he said his daughter too, that was just a badass. I mean,
like Gus is not afraid to kill children. He's shown.
Yeah, he has. And then
he's no issue doing that.
Yeah, we're gonna see that in the next episode too. And then he goes to Saul, and he wants that guy that can make him disappear. And Gus, gives him the card, and Walt thinks he has the money, and then you pretty much just broke down the rest of the episode because, he goes to his house, his old house, and finds that it's not enough. And this scene was shot really well. We'll say that. Like, the way Skylar was acting, even though his character's crap, but, the way...
Skylar was justified when she saw how Walt is acting,
Yeah.
Like, Walt was off the wall.
Because what happened, too, is Walt wanted Saul to put, like, a call in, just being anybody, saying that they're going to put a hit on Hank. But obviously not give the details and stuff. And he had already put the call in when Walt had found out he didn't have the money. If you think about it, too, if Walt...
Hey, go let my dog out of my room.
Okay. I'll keep talking, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can still hear me, but... Okay, yeah, you can, obviously. But if Skylar had waited a little longer to give Ted the money, this would have helped her, too, because they wouldn't have been able to find her if, because obviously they wouldn't be able to tap a phone.
Granted, they would have to take their kids, and their kids would learn about what Walt did,
Yeah. We don't know how Walter Jr. would have reacted, but
yeah,
but that's like
great.
Yeah. But yeah, the ending of the episode though was awesome. The whole episode was awesome, but that ending was just
this shows Walt snapped.
Yeah. And
I feel like this is where Walter is gone and Heisenberg is is who he really is now.
Yeah.
This is like where Heisenberg is like full control.
Yeah. And it was just absolutely this episode was locked, and this this scene walked, and just everything about it.
And I kind of like how Saul was helping Walt out, getting off the grid. Saul's very selfish, but he's he's not gonna just abandon Walt. He's gonna help him out.
Yeah, because that was definitely, and this kind of even because he took a big risk, because we saw in the next episode this affected Saul too, because because now he has to kind of go off the grid himself until Gus is dead. Well, actually, because Walt can't go off the grid himself right now. So, but yeah, but I mean, also we could talk about it too. Gus probably, if he really had wanted to, probably still could have found Walt even if he did go off the grid, because it's Gus. So it's
he has a lot of connections and a lot.
Yeah, and it seems like Gus is just always one step ahead of Walt. So I feel like they would have been able to find him somehow.
Right.
But I actually like the way, it did, even though, we talked about it, even though the storyline sucked, it made, at least we got, a nice payoff from that.
It was a great payoff.
Yeah.
And, we gave that storyline a crap. Everything else in these episodes are great.
Yeah. If I had to give this episode a rating, I'm going to give it an A. It was just fantastic.
I give it an A+, honestly. The Ted moment was funny when he just hits his head.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go A+, because that was funny, yeah, when he hits his head. Because I like it, because I do like that about Breaking Bad, how we'll have those funny moments here and there.
This is just one of the best episodes in the series, honestly.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if, I would probably say this one would be, and obviously the first episode this season when, Gus slices the guy.
Victor, yeah.
Yeah. And then
that was great.
The end of
season 5, you haven't seen it yet, but season 5 has a lot of really good episodes, so look forward to that.
Okay. I also like the end of season 3 when Gale gets shot. I like that one too.
Right, that was a good one.
Obviously this is a different video for that, but yeah, this is definitely one of the best.
Definitely do a top 5 Breaking Bad episodes.
Yeah, we have to watch. I had to watch them again and stuff, but
yeah. All right, so
now episode 12.
And we gave this one an A+ now for episode 12, I think.
I think I gave Salute 10 a B+. So we both gave this one an A+.
Right.
Now let's talk about, which I'll just say,
Well,
this one was awesome.
right.
Like,
This one was great.
This one had your attention the whole time, I thought. So
Very like a lot of suspense. Like you don't know what's gonna happen.
yeah, and even if you think you know what's gonna happen, they trick you and go in a different direction. So the opening sequence is everyone's just gonna go to Hank and Marie's, because pretty much Hank doesn't believe, because Hank just thinks Marie's overreacting, which obviously you could probably say that she is because she doesn't know the situation, but really,
well, at the same time, someone threatened to kill her husband. So
yeah, and Hank just thinks it's like no big deal. It's someone, obviously not messed up, but he just thinks because it's just not
an empty threat type of thing.
Yeah. So then, like Hank said, he thought it was just an empty threat. But what happens is Walt, pretty much he just lets Walter Jr., Skylar, and Holly, which is the baby, and just go to Hank's house because Walt's pretty much gonna take one for the team. He's gonna go home, and because it's Walt really that he wants. He doesn't really, he cares about Hank, but he wants to kill Walt more than he wants to kill them.
Right.
I guess I should say too, I did like that obviously Skylar kind of knew everything that happened, and they didn't really like show us that scene. They kind of, we kind of had to picture what was going on because, which obviously she probably wasn't very happy about it, but I'm glad we didn't get to see like a scene.
That's kind of her fault. So,
Yeah.
Well, partly her fault.
And yeah, I liked this opening scene. I think it pretty much just went right to like the intro right afterwards. And I think with everything here, we're just gonna do it scene by scene because you kind of have to with this episode because it's really just a big storyline. So, if you want to jump in on anything, you can just say some stuff. So,
sure, but like before we do it, can I just say like the suspense I feel from this episode is definitely in part is like mainly because of Walt. Like Walt doesn't even really do much this episode, but like it's like most of the episode is him waiting for someone to kill him. Like that's gonna be tough. And knowing he can't leave.
Yeah, and I think what makes this episode too is you're wondering like what's gonna happen next, like we talked about. Like I think it's just like I said, the suspense and what is Gus gonna do? How is Gus gonna get Walt? Because you knew he was gonna, because you knew Gus wasn't just gonna show up to his house and kill him. He had a plan.
Right,
so.
If he showed up dead, Jesse would be livid.
Yeah. So what happens is Hank wants Gomez to search the area that Jesse and Tyrese now work at. And obviously he doesn't have a warrant, but he wants Gomez to sweet talk him and talk. Huh?
Just come up with something random, don't got time for the warrant.
And that's pretty much what happens. We don't really need to break down that scene. That scene was done very well.
Right. It was just kind of show like Hank is doing stuff while he's at home. Like,
yeah.
He's not sitting around twiddling his thumbs.
Yeah. And they don't find anything, which I was kind of surprised about, but they didn't find anything. And pretty much what happens is Gus calls and says, but we have to take care of Walt because we're pretty much going to get caught here if we don't. But Jesse still won't let it happen. So Gus says, then there's going to have to be drastic measures taken. And Jesse's like, what is that supposed to mean? And obviously Gus doesn't answer. So I kind of liked it because that was even like more of the suspense. Like we were wondering like what was Gus going to do to make Jesse, what make Jesse, to get Jesse's approval to kill Walt. So, what happens is, I think Jesse obviously is kind of starting to side with Walt. You got to kind of see that, like, again, like obviously while they were fighting, they were still kind of on the same side, but you could kind of start to see like Jesse's kind of like, okay, Gus is a little messed up now. We always knew that, but I think he's starting to realize like he's not going to be as manipulated by Gus. At least he thought so, anyways. Because if he's all right and stuff like that throughout the episode. But then he doesn't get a call from Walt. He gets a call from Brock's mom. I don't remember the name. Andrea, I think her name is off the top of my head. Obviously, I have the name. I have the name of it in my. We'll just say, yeah, it actually is Andrea.
Oh wow, you got it first try.
Yeah, I don't know how we do this. We just must be Breaking Bad diehards or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you are. I call it Tyrese Tyrone or something.
Yeah, it was bad. And we find out that Brock's been poisoned. Well, obviously, we knew how he was poisoned. We just didn't know exactly. We knew Gus had something to do with it, but we didn't really know how he did it.
Actually, I'll let you put out, and then all of a sudden he goes out for a smoke, and he realizes he doesn't have the ricin cigarette, and he's like, oh my god. At first, he thinks Walt poisoned Brock. Right, that was like his first thought, to spite him or something. So he goes and he's gonna go and kill Walt.
Yeah.
Crap at Walt a little bit, puts a gun to his head, and then Walt, he has a little bit of that crawl space moment where he starts laughing, and then he's like, "This was Gus's plan. He can't kill him without Jesse. You know, Jesse won't cook for him anymore. But if Jesse's the one who kills Walt, problem solved."
Yeah. And Walt pretty much tries to convince like he didn't do it. He comes up with everything in the book that how Gus did it, but Jesse obviously at first doesn't believe it. But then Jesse finally doesn't kill Walt. I think this kind of had something to do because obviously, Jesse obviously was very depressed. I think he was starting to think about Gail again and stuff like that. And obviously, I think there was just something in Jesse that I think that made him believe that Walt wouldn't kill a child.
Like he's known Walt for so long, and it's like,
yeah,
and like Walt brought up a lot of good points. Like Gus is shown to not care about kids, and how he'll manipulate everyone around him.
Yeah, and how he ways that he could have gotten the license and stuff, and he clearly could have known about the license because we talked about this literally the last.
Cameras were watching them. They didn't really do a very good job of hiding it.
Yeah. So Jesse's gonna go kill Gus, and Walt wants to help. So obviously we knew something was gonna happen. So Jesse pretty much refuses to leave the hospital, and decides to stay and comfort Brock. Tyrese even comes over and
tries to get him to leave and come cook, and Jesse it's like, dude, no.
Yeah, send the boss over here or something. He says some smart ass line like that. And Gus comes over, and pretty much, I think because the batch was just wasted anyways, they just kind of were like, you just take your time and you can come back to work when you're ready. So then Gus and Tyrese and not Tyrese. What the hell am I? It's Walking Dead. That's the different show.
Oh, is that a Walking Dead character? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So we're both getting his name wrong.
Yeah. We're not going to see him probably after this season, so it doesn't matter. Tyrese.
It's so funny when you say stuff like that because I already know everything that happens and you don't. It's really funny.
Tyrese goes to Tyrese, Gus, and I think there was some other person there, but he was a background character.
Yeah, just another.
Go to his car, and we had known that what Walt's plan was because he did a test of it where he pretty much was planning to blow up Gus in his car, which was a pretty smart plan, but I thought Walt would have done a different plan than just.
And you also have to figure this shows Walt is insane. He was gonna blow up a bomb in a hospital.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's pretty much, this is Eisenberg right here. This isn't Walt.
Yeah, he does not care. And really, the only reason Gus survives is bullshit. He somehow spider sensed that his car was going to blow up.
Yeah, I don't know how, but he did.
I guess he just got that feeling, and he just decided, I'm going to walk home today.
Yeah. He had a feeling somehow.
That must have been awkward. I'm not driving my car for whatever. His goons must have been like, hey, boss, how come you're not driving home? I don't know, just like spider sense. I'm gonna walk 8 miles to my house, I guess.
I know. That's what I was even thinking about that. Like not the spider sense part, but like, how did you know like your car's gonna blow up? Like
Right.
now Gus has to walk. I mean, I guess Gus was fine with it because he walked 6 miles after he just had poison like put in him.
Yeah, I mean,
So.
guy's a champion. Probably ran marathons as a kid. I don't know.
I know. And at first I thought what was gonna happen because I knew he was surviving this because they still had another episode. So
Right.
was I guess kind of you could say like hook.
Plus, it'd be a little anticlimactic, you know.
Yeah, because what would they do the next episode? Just
Yeah.
just twiddle their thumbs and stand there and
Yeah, no, a whole hour episode of Walt just like no,
yeah,
just sitting around.
I bet though it would still be awesome somehow because it's
Probably breaking bad.
if it's once Skylar showed up though it would win everything though. Like
hear me out. An entire episode of Skylar and Ted. That would be the worst episode of Breaking Bad.
that'd be worse than that fly episode.
Oh, not even close. Not even close.
Actually, no, them trying to kill the fly too. They wouldn't even kill they would take 2 episodes to kill the fly.
Oh God. The fly actually had more episode than the Ted subplot.
Yeah. I don't know why they even thought of that, but yeah, I guess I thought what was gonna happen though was like Tyrese was gonna die from it, like Gus was gonna throw Tyrese into it or something, and he was gonna get blown up, but I don't know. I guess Gus walked home. Obviously, we have to, and obviously Gus is. I liked Walt's reaction because Walt was just like, "Damn it," because it was like,
yeah.
he knew
like,
he was
like to him, Gus must seem like invincible. You know, like he can't, no matter what he does.
Yeah, like it intrigues you because you're like wondering like what is gonna be like the one because obviously thing that's gonna finally get Walt to finally get Gus.
Right, like so far, like you can't even scratch him. Like he's untouchable.
Yeah, like Walt. That's the thing too. Like Gus, the only time he's like been hurt is from himself, pretty much. Like
yeah, pretty much.
So, or like obviously too from, obviously the past. But this is the different Gus than we saw in the past. So
right. This is a stone cold killer.
Yeah. Like the only one that's really caught him is Hank, and he hasn't.
Yeah, even Hank can't. No one can really touch him.
No.
Cal, Hank, everyone has been trying to kill Gus, and no one can do it.
Like, think about it too. Like, remember too. Like, Saul doesn't even really know who Gus really is. Like, he just knows him through Mike and stuff like that. So. Yeah.
Like this episode definitely paints Gus as like an untouchable force.
Yeah. I love it.
It's cool to see like Jesse and Walt like teaming up now.
Yeah, and this is we did say this. This is the episode when Jesse won. He did win. Did he win? I don't know if he was nominated. It says Aaron Paul.
I know he won a few awards for Breaking Bad.
Yeah, this episode though, Aaron Paul won the premier Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series.
I got 7 for Dad to sign, so can you go get it to him?
Yeah, sure. I will in a sec. Hang on, just give it to me.
You sure? Thanks.
All right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he won. I just said he won the award that Walt would have won if it says the episode received no.
Which, I don't know. Aaron Paul's a good actor, but I think the last episode, The Crawl Space, like Brian really like shined in.
Obviously, too. I don't know how they do the voting and stuff. They probably, Yeah. But yeah, but this episode, now we gotta do the letter grade. I thought this episode was just fantastic.
Yeah, I give it an A+. Honestly, I think Crawl Space is a little bit better, but like this, the suspense on this one is great.
Yeah, and obviously, really makes me want to see the next episode, but we have to watch Red vs. Blue, so it's like.
Yeah, we'll watch the finale tomorrow and review that. So season 4 finale coming up.
Well, I'm watching it right after we do Red vs. Blue, but.
Well, yeah, but I gotta like do homework and stuff. So
yeah,
I can't see it till tomorrow.
We're reviewing it tomorrow. I think it was what you meant to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is
a long video. The next one should be a lot shorter. This is gonna end up being like an hour video.
Yeah, well, we had to edit it too. I think.
Right. Yeah, we had to cut because I had to like go take care of something. But
Yeah.
you know, when we edit it back together, it should still be like what, like an hour.
Yeah, I think because you talked a little bit more on this time and stuff, and
Yeah.
I think the next one we talk a lot because obviously it's a big episode, but we're only reviewing one. But,
yeah. So that one should only take like 20 minutes, a half hour.
Yeah. Because like we said, we're only gonna do because I feel like the season finale is like such a big episode. It can't be like not, you know.
Right. And like it's like everything in the season built up to this, and hell, everything in season 3 built up to this too. So it's like
and two because we met Gus. I mean, not as much too, but because we met Gus in season 2, so.
Right. So a lot of build up for the next episode. So it's like we kind of talk about all that stuff too.
And I said because you can watch it's 50 minutes too. Like this is this one of the is this the longest episode in the series or?
It might be.
Because I know, but I thought but yeah, because I mean it's not really a spoiler because we know Gus is dying in the next episode because obviously if he doesn't die in the next episode, it's going to be very disappointing because what were you building, you know, the whole season? That's the build up of the whole season, but it'll be interesting to see like how they finally get Gus, you know. Yeah, you obviously don't want to say anything, so.
No, I was just saying, like, yeah, I mean, like, Gus is untouchable, you know. It's like,
yeah,
you really got to scrape the bottom of the barrel for him.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting, like how they finally get him.
Right, and you know, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but like the way they get him is pretty great. Like, I enjoyed it.
So yeah,
it's like an iconic scene.
I can't wait to see it. And yeah, really nothing left to say. And obviously too, yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. We'll just save it for the next episode. So,
right.
But yeah, actually, I know you saw it, but what did you predict? Let's do a quick, like, obviously I know you saw this episode. How did you predict they were gonna get him? Do you remember, or do you not want to say?
Well, honestly, I thought they were just gonna like get the DEA, like rat him out to the DEA somehow. Like I felt like Hank was gonna like they're gonna like lead Hank on in the right direction and like find the lab.
Well, not the right direction, but thinking that Gus is Heisenberg a little bit.
Right. Well, not necessarily Heisenberg, but yeah, like I thought they were gonna like show him the lab and they were gonna like know Gus made it and then they would arrest him.
Yeah.
Or something along that. Like I just, you know, like I thought they were gonna like, I don't know, you know, it's like it's so tough because it's Gus, you can't touch him. The cartel.
Yeah. So you can't even like.
I thought maybe like some surviving members of the cartel would try to get him.
Yeah, so it's like you don't really know, but I'm really excited about it. You know, once we watch that Red versus Blue episode.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can we watch that tomorrow or something?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Because like now talking about it, I just want to. I'm sorry.
Hey, trust me, you'll like it. It's pretty great.
Yeah. So.
All right, everyone, that is it for this mammoth of a review.
I know we got too busy. It's Monday too, so.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything you want to plug or promote?
Just my channel, which I don't really upload on. I probably should.
Yeah. You have time this week?
Yeah, I do. Pretty much every day except Wednesday. Again, just Breaking Bad, great show. These 3 episodes are a big standout for the whole series.
I can't wait. I bet the next one's A. I'm gonna predict. I'm gonna give it an A+.
Oh, definitely, like easily one of the best, if not the best episode.
And then
it's definitely my top 3.
Also, check out CM Brothers because that's where we'll be doing Red versus Blue at some point.
Right. We're like halfway through season 1 right now, and season 1 review will be out sometime soon.
Yeah. And then obviously check this channel out. We're gonna do the season finale.
Right, and then we'll probably do a season review, and then season 5 of Breaking Bad, the final season.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably do Better Call Saul.
I think we'll save the season review for after we finish season 5 because.
Yeah.
If I have to go back and rewatch season 4. I haven't even been watching any episodes of Death Note yet, so it's not going to go very well. So.
Oh yeah,
I feel like we should. We should say we should save that. So
Yeah, we should do like a whole channel update for that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to do that soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Alright.
I appreciate your watching, all 5 of you.
Well, however,
Hey, PewDiePie, man, we're coming for you.
we're coming. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.